This should be an easy prep, right? Let me show you something. Look at that guy. Crack all the way around. Oh boy. Oh, we are in trouble. What's up, Brite Nation? It has now officially been a year that I have known Kevin and Brittany. And what does that mean? Hammer prep.
So excited. Let's do this.
So now we gotta get the Ultra 4 car ready for King of the Hammers. That's exactly when I met Kevin and Brittany last year, when they called me and had me prep their car for King of the Hammers last year. So we're gonna do it again. If you remember, Kevin had some brake issues, so we're gonna work on that. I have more time this year, so I'm gonna rewire the car because there's a lot of things I didn't like. We're gonna make some new paneling, move some things around. We're gonna install a brand new system from Switch Pros that does a 12 switch on his side and an 8 switch on Brittany's side, but they'll talk together. So that's gonna be really cool, and we'll show you how that works. Brand new technology from Switch Pros, pretty sweet. What else? That's it. Prep time. Just make sure it's all right. Make sure there's no cracks. She's gonna weld up all the cracks if there are any, because that's what she does. I got a couple of panels to make, and just make sure it's ready to go. That's pretty much it. Easy prep, maybe.
We'll see once we get into it. Not only are we doing prep on this thing, but I'm also prepping Kevin and Brittany to be running around out in KOH because the terrain is heavy, exhausting.
It's funny to watch Kevin and Brittany struggle in the gym.
But they're not gonna-
Don't tell Brittany that.
They're not gonna struggle this year.
No, they're not struggling this year because
we're working on endurance.
She's gonna whip their butts into shape. So let's get started. All right, so before we tear this thing all the way down, if you recall, one of the problems that Kevin had last year and all off season, we just haven't addressed it yet because it really wasn't a super huge issue, is he has a heavy brake pedal. So after we got into here, the masters are 1-inch masters. So what I did is I went ahead and I ordered a 7/8. Pop these guys out of here, 2 lines. I went down 1 size so that you can get more pressure with the same leverage. We don't want more volume because more volume causes an even heavier pedal. You want more pressure, so if you have a smaller cylinder, we'll create more pressure with the same leverage. So we're gonna try that first. So before we get this thing torn down, I gotta replace the masters, and then Kevin's gonna go run it up and down the street and just make sure that the pedal's right, and then we're gonna go into a full bore, tear down, and full prep. Well, we got it torn down, we got all the panels off, and I'm gonna show you guys some things that, you know, like all of this. This drives me nuts. So we're gonna get rid of all of this because there's no reason for this to be in here. Another issue that we have is that cutoff switch does not kill the engine. So somebody wired it wrong last time. We've just been dealing with it. So I'm gonna put a dual battery switch in here because we're gonna run dual batteries. I'm gonna clean up this wiring because you know me, that's just hideous. We're gonna put 2 batteries here. We're gonna move the 1 battery from the back. I'm gonna put 2 batteries in here, build a new tray, some new paneling, because this is dangerous when your harnesses go down there. So we're gonna build some paneling in there. Yeah, we have some steering heims, some of these guys. These guys are pretty whooped from last year. So we're gonna change these out. And a lot more wiring. Some other things we have is like this light is just zip tied onto this rail. There was never any mounts made, so I'm gonna make a new mount for this. The Lawrence, we wanna lower it because it's the highest part of the vehicle right now, and if Kevin does flop it, hopefully not, it doesn't rip that off because then they lose their GPS, and that would be terrible. This has gotta go. I'm gonna build a big tool tray / fluid tray back here so that they have all their fluids and stuff again this year. Last year we just kind of threw it in here and ratchet strapped it all down, but this year I'm gonna make it a little bit nicer because it was kind of hokey last year, but we just did what we could to get it to the start line, and they finished, which is amazing. So got to change out some harnesses and run some wiring and just clean it up a little bit. We have to weld on the front axle. I think the front axle has a crack in it, so we'll have Beck in there grinding that up and welding that up. Oh, and then the brakes. We're gonna do the brakes first.
All right, now real quick, you guys, while Chris and Beck are kicking ass and taking names, we just want to remind you that Kevin and I will be racing in the 4400 series class at King of the Hammers. That means that our race day is February the 5th. It's a Saturday. We'd love for you guys to come, hang out on the lake bed. Remember, we do have meet and greets at the Bilstein booth. We have 4 different days. We put them on a video previously, but you can also check out the schedule on Instagram and on the Lite Brite Nation Facebook as well. But for you guys who can't make it physically to the lake bed, remember you can also come and support us on the live chat and watch the entire race live. Just go to ultra4racing.com and they'll have the link right there. If you are gonna be supporting us on the live chat, please be respectful of other people in the chat. We absolutely freaking loved the amount of support that we got last year, but we did kind of get a little bit of crap for the amount of spamming that went on. So definitely show your support. We absolutely love it, but also be respectful of other people in the chat because people tune in from all around the world to talk about the cars and watch the races. And we wanna give them that opportunity as well. Guys, we love you and can't wait to see you guys out on the lake bed. Back to Chris and Beck.
So I got the brakes done last night. Kevin likes them. They work. He left black marks on the floor with the front locked up. So he's much happier with the brakes. So they actually function now. So now Beck and I are gonna rip out this charging system because it completely needs to be redone. I don't know how they screwed it up that bad. That's what we're gonna do next. We're gonna rip the battery and all the charging system out and redo all that. Remember at the beginning of this video when I said, this should be an easy prep, right? Let me show you something. That right there is cracked all the way around. Look at that guy. Oh boy. Oh, we are in trouble. That's the lower pickup. That's the lower arm. Goes all the way up into this trans here somewhere. Barely see it. Right there in the middle. So another thing we wanted to do is add a second battery. So we had to get rid of the single pole. It's only got 2 poles on it and go to the double, but this double is much bigger. So we had to cut this mount out and I'm gonna make this one. This one's gonna fit right there, right where the old one was. We'll get this cut out. Nice.
Woo!
So we got Beck changing out steering heims today. She got all those boxes cut out yesterday. We're gonna build a new package tray. So we're gonna make this one a full tray with a lid to keep all our spare parts and stuff in this year. We're moving the battery in here in the center. We're gonna run dual batteries. Shout out to Next Venture for getting us these battery trays. Next Venture Motorsports, they got them in stock. And they fit in here perfect. Next Venture. So I'm excited to put those in. Our new dual battery switch going in. We're just working away. Another day in the shop. Got a stubborn one here.
We're playing tug of war over here.
That guy's on there.
Okay. You moved a little, yeah?
Watch your fingers. My God.
Well, since you got it loose, you think the gun will...
Maybe.
You want me to... Oh, geez, keep going. Once you get the Hinds out, we're gonna swap over the jam nuts and put them on the new Hinds. Right before you put them back in, you'll wanna put anti-seize on there, so that way you'll be able to get them off next time. So I just swapped out these Hinds and put brand new ones on. But first, I did measure the Hinds prior to putting the new ones on, so that way I knew the exact width they needed to be when we put them back in.
All right, Beck, what'd you build?
These are mounting plates for the Switch Pros. And it was super easy to do because Switch Pros actually gave me a template. So it was just a matter of tracing and then cutting it out.
Sick.
Fits perfect.
Look at them hands.
That's from brakes. That's from doing the brakes.
Yeah, she just got done doing all the brakes, so we got new pads and everything. She got all the links back on. Got the battery trays tacked in, and then what I did is I just Siamese these two so that they use one bracket, and they're welded together under here, just to try to save some room. I got the mount welded up for the disconnect, and then we found a crack. It's a pretty good crack. So I made these plates. I made this one clamshell plate. We're gonna clean it all up. I'm gonna weld that in. And then I have another one that goes on the bottom here. I just made these real quick. We'll get this all cleaned up and I'm gonna grind it up as best I can. And I'll TIG this and then weld the cap plates on it and then rosette some eyelets in it. Try to make this really strong. And I'm gonna run a gusset probably out to here. This guy, just enough to miss this Heim, I don't know. I'm gonna have to put a little gusset in here. Something to beef that up. Other than that, that's the only crack we found. Yeah, we'll get her all welded up tonight and then we'll start the wiring in the morning. Eesh, that'll be fun.
So last night, Chris stayed out in the shop. He got the crack in the frame fixed. It is now reinforced and super strong and where it needs to be. I will show you guys. So this is what it looks like. And I believe he's also going to run a small gusset around here just to make it even stronger. The goal for today is Chris is going to rip out all the radio equipment and figure out the wiring situation. I am going to be doing a little bit of arts and crafts. I'll be making some paneling to go in the back just to keep out some dust and dirt. There was already paneling for the bottom. That's what I'm going to be doing.
I gotta figure out this wiring mess. It is a mess of wiring under here. It's just loose. Try to get it all yanked out the best I can without unhooking anything else.
You got this.
I got this. I hate rat's nest wiring. That is my biggest pet peeve. This is junk. I don't know who does this. I don't know. So we'll make it nice. All right, so today is a big day. I kicked everybody out of the shop because it's wiring day, which means I need to focus because I got a lot of things going on in here. I'm about to show you guys some really cool new products. So let's get started. This is our new rugged radio setup. This is the old setup, which we're gonna put in the side-by-side. That's why we have all this new product right here. You got new push-to-talk buttons, new intercom cables, new antenna, a mag mount, bar mounts for stuffs, and a new center console for the side-by-side to put the radio in. Why are we gonna do that? Because this is our brand new rugged radio. And the reason we're putting this in the race cars, because this has DSP. The DSP is a digital speech processor. So what it does is it takes out all of the background noise. I don't know if you know this, but this Ultra 4 is super loud. And the last thing you want to do is pick up extra engine noise through your mic in your helmet. So what this does is it cleans out, it's basically noise canceling headphones for your race car. So this will just take the voice and it'll reprocess the voice in your headset. So it'll knock out all the background noise. So you don't get engine noise, exhaust noise, or anything else buzzing in your head the whole time, which is awesome. So we're gonna put this in the Ultra 4. We also got a new rugged pumper setup, variable speed. You can go variable and then you can control the speed of your pumper, or you can just put it on full, or you can turn it off. So we're gonna put this in the side-by-side as well. Whenever it gets back, it's not here right now. This is the extra radio stuff. This part is gonna come later, but I need this to go in the truck today. Also, the new Switch Pro setup. So this is the new Switch Pro. This isn't new, but the technology behind this stuff is getting pretty new. This is the new 12 switch, 17 function brain. And what it does now is they figured out how to run a master 12 switch and a slave 8. So this will control 8 of the functions that are in this 12, but this could be on the passenger side of the truck, and this is going to be at Kevin's fingertips. This is Kevin, so this will have like ignition, start, power, winch in and out, and then it'll also have the lights, the pumper, and any other accessories we want to put on here. And then Brittany will have access to the lights and the pumper and stuff, but not the winch for obvious reasons, or start, fuel pumps, stuff like that. But she can still control this, and we only need one brain. So this is the coolest thing of this whole setup. One brain, 2 panels, awesome. So I gotta wire that in today, which means we're gonna change this. This is the center console. I'm gonna take this dash out and we're gonna put it above Kevin's steering wheel. So I'm gonna make a new panel for this. And then this whole panel, all these switches need to get rewired into this brain. That's a job for me today. Some of the wiring in here is, it's just long. So we're gonna clean up some of this, some of the light wiring. We're just gonna tidy it up real nice. I hate rat's nests. That's my biggest pet peeve, if y'all haven't figured that out yet. Battery disconnects, the dual batteries, I gotta wire up, make sure the alternator can charge both. Make sure when you turn the switch off it kills the truck like it's supposed to, which it didn't before. Just a bunch of wiring I need to still shorten up. That is today's goal. So I kicked everybody out of the shop so that I have complete focus. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get power back in the truck before we can move forward. So that's the goal right now. So this panel had a pass-through in it for the wiring, for the battery, for the alternator. So the alternator went on this side, and then all the rest of the truck stuff went on the back side, which is awesome, except for you can't remove this panel. So yesterday, Beck whipped me up this little bracket, which is awesome. So now we can put this bulkhead through here. I can get rid of this panel and put this tab right here. Now I can remove this panel without having to take all these cables off it, because that was a real pain in the butt. So now it's just a couple of Zeus's and the panel comes out. So I'll get this mocked up and fit up on here so that we can get the battery cables put back on. Try to keep the heat out of that tube. Just try not to make this tube too brittle. That's it. Now we get to wiring. All right, so we got everything. I got one battery hooked up. I got it hooked up to the master switch. Put the dash back in it over there and ran some wires to it just to make sure. I got the switch panel plugged back in up here. This thing still works. Oh yeah. Okay, so the dash will work over there. So far, so good. Oh, fuel pumps work. Well, that works. And, oh, the fans work. Nice, so the start button. Got lights. Oh, that's the upper ones. Okay, so the lights work. The lower lights work. All right, so now we just have to map all the wiring out and then hook it up into the Switch Pros and figure out where I'm gonna mount the Switch Pro module. So it looks like I can move the dash over, that's a plus. So the dash is working, all the sensors are working. Now we just gotta tidy everything up, so that's good. On to task number 2, Switch Pro module. let's get on it. So now that I know all of these switches work and which ones I don't need, one of them that I don't need is this guy right here. So that's a plus. I don't need this one. I'm just gonna verify that all of these are ground. 99.9% sure that these are all ground. So all these will get tied to the ground. And I basically just need to take this pigtail that plugs into the car and run the other end of this into this. This is all the switches out of the Switch Pro. I just need to figure out which ones need to go where and get all of these wired in to all of these. So I'm going to plot out all the colors and what they do, and I'll write them all on a piece of paper and then figure out what switch I'm gonna run to on here and what the corresponding button is gonna be on this. That's the plan right now, is to map out this to this to this and make it all work together. Fun. So after pinning out all of the switches on the dash and figuring out all the circuits I want to run and what we need to run and all the ones that we need to add, this is what I came up with. Switches out of the car, color codes, what they did, or where they go, what circuits they go to. This right here is the Switch Pros and what they all color coded go to, what I need them to do on the dash, and this is what came out of the car circuit. So following all of this, and we're gonna pull lights out of the car harness and then run them directly through the Switch Pro. So that'll alleviate some stress on the current PDM that's in the car. I think there's one or two more things I'm gonna pull out. Seat heaters I gotta pull out. I added a dome light because I have an extra circuit in here now. We'll just mount a rock light in the top and just turn that on with the Switch Pros. The batteries are in. I know the wiring looks like a mess, but it's because I went through it yesterday. So now we're just gonna tidy everything up and make it work really well. And I still gotta build a dash panel, but I'll do that after I get the wiring done. Today's goal is to just get the harnesses put together, put it in the car, power everything up. Then I gotta go through all the switches and make the switches either momentary, on off, always on, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. I gotta program the switches. Then we'll see if it works. By the end of the day, I should have another running car with Switch Pros at the fingertips. So I got harness A attached to harness B. There's more that we're gonna add, like the lights and stuff. We're gonna be pulled out of this switch. So this is the switch for the PDM. So now the Switch Pros will control the PDM also. And now we gotta hang the Switch Pros module. So there's not a whole lot of room under these dash panels. So we're gonna mount this upside down right above Brittany's knees. Cause you know she's small. I'm just gonna mount right here. Then we just gotta plug it in. There it is. All right. I know it looks like a mess, but I think I got it figured out.
Moment of truth.
Turn it on. Oh yeah. Okay, ready? Nice. I'm gonna reprogram them, but I got two panels. So Brittany has one. She can turn the ignition off. Both panels run the same Switch Pro module. I just have to reprogram these to control her button, and these ones will control Kevin's buttons. They can have their own buttons. It's gonna be exciting. Sick. All right, so I got most of the circuits all figured out. I got the seat heaters in, the lights in. I got one more thing to wire up, and that's the new rugged helmet pumper. One thing I noticed, so they give you this cool box. This whole box is the pumper. You got this neat little tiny fan, which looks pretty substantial inside. It's got bearings in it, so it's gotta be awesome. They give you this controller, variable speed. So on those brisk mornings, you don't have to have the pumper on full blast blowing ice cold air in your helmet.
No, that's optional.
That's optional?
I don't need a pumper on full blast.
You don't need 30 degrees being pumped in your helmet at 7 o'clock in the morning. But one thing I did notice, so this is the side that goes to the pan. Here's your power side. Why is it that every company sells you something with a connector on the power side, but they never give you the female side to make it power? So I gotta cut this thing off anyway. So that's a whole extra 75 cents they got into the price of this thing that nobody ever uses because they never sell you the other end, so you cut it off anyway. Like, where are you gonna find a single 3-pin female? I don't know. I don't have any weather packs, let alone a 3-pin weather pack, so this is pointless. Anyway, this is the only thing I got left is to wire up the new pumper. So I'm gonna cut that off and put a Deutsch on there. Yep. All right. Everything is now completely wired up. Everything works, minus the radios, because we're gonna put
Everything's completely wired up, minus the radio.
Minus the radios, because we're gonna plug those directly into battery power, because last year we were getting a pop every time you would key. So I think it was because it was ran through the PDM power. So this year we're gonna run the Lawrence radio. All the radio gear is gonna be ran through its own power distribution directly off the battery, so we don't have to run through any of the car stuff. Let me show you how this stuff works. So we now have 2 batteries, which I will tidy up those cables too. We got 1, dash comes on, 2, voltage stays up because we got 1 drained. Switch pros just need to be mounted. Oh, now we're making a mess. God. All right, here's my cheat sheet. Ignition. Fuel pump came on. Start. Ignition off. Ignition back on. Fan override. We have fuel pump 1 and 2, which I know you can't see, but you can see it on the dash. We have winch in and out. This is winch out. Winch in. And it's so loud. So this is gonna be the butt heater, which we just gotta put the seats back in, but I do have voltage. And then dome light. Dome light works. Upper lights. Lower lights, everything works. This thing is so sick. Oh, let me show you this pumper. We turn the pumper on. Pumper has an additional control, so we can either go full blast. Listen to this thing.
Like, holy. That is putting out. I just knocked them.
He's throwing my paperwork. You can also put it on variable. So variable means you can turn up the speed or lower the speed. So you can give it half speed.
That's crazy.
It is so nuts how much air pressure comes out of that thing.
You think at full speed it's gonna be annoying in the helmet?
Well, that's why Brittany's gonna have control to turn it down. And you'd be like, turn that shit down.
When we get behind somebody in the dust, crank it up.
You'll definitely not have any foggy visors.
No.
Not this time.
That's pretty awesome.
Everything works. Beck whipped out these really neat longer visors. Last year they weren't quite tall enough because, you know, Kevin's short.
Yeah, the visors were like half this, so they kind of worked when the sun was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. By the time it got to 5, 6 o'clock, I was driving like this, like through.
So Beck made those a little bit longer.
Hopefully we'll be driving at 5, 6 o'clock again and not broke down.
Yeah, right. We'll still be driving. We'll still be driving.
Or done.
Anyway, we got it all wired up. Now we just got to move on to the metal work so that I can hang the switch pros where they need to. We're gonna build a bunch of inner panels. Beck already made all the templates. She's probably gonna start on that in the morning. She's gonna cut out all those. As far as that, that's all we got for this video, because we're gonna have another shop video in a little bit.
And we leave in exactly 6 days.
6 more days.
6 more days. And I've almost got that thing wrapped up too, so.
I got this.
We're close. We're close.
Yeah,
I wanted to go out and test it before we went out, but I don't know.
Hey, we can run it down the street.
I'm sure the neighbors are gonna love that.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and share. Remember, you can get all your Lite Brite merch at
LiteBriteStudios.com along with your decals.
along with your decals, everything, all your merch. See you guys later. Bye.
Peace.
Oh no. That's the big side too, so if that gets going, that one's way longer than over here. Now this one's out here with no sleeves on it. Oh! That was good. Oh!
Oh my god!
That would kill your dog. Fuck, that is heavy.
What's up, Lite Brite Nation? So every year we play a Christmas game that involves wearing oven mittens, trying to get a gift open that has an excessive amount of wrapping paper and tape on it. Let me show you guys. These are the oven mittens that the person will be wearing, trying to open the gifts with lots of wrapping paper, lots of tape. And another person will be rolling dice. They keep rolling until they land on doubles. That's when this person has to stop opening the present and pass it to somebody else. This guy here is just for some extra fun. It makes it a little cute while we're trying to open up the present. Also kind of hard to see too with him on, but it's fun. It's the family's favorite game of the year and we look forward to it. Okay, I guess I made this too easy.
Oh, doubles.
Mom, don't be a cheater.
You're done.
Ah, boom.
Up.
Ah. Screw.
Oh my gosh.
Triple grip. Cobra. Universal.
Oh my God.
Whoa.
You made that?
What? That is so cool. That's cool. Boy, it is really nice.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks. Merry Christmas to you. That's really great.